I heard a song last summer. It might have been an interlude. No lyrics, just music. I'm sure she heard it too, though I'll never know. I'm a cripple and I'm allowed to say that word. So many operations and so many recoveries. Now I walk with a stick or two, but I don't complain. Not since I met her and tasted love. Life had always been lonely until we met. She was a lonely queen, so she knew the feeling. A queen can be just as lonely as a cripple. Disability benefits and a large compensation from the accident allowed me to wander through the countryside each day down to the sea. No work to do, nowhere to be, no one to please. So much time to be really present and picture the whole scene, veined with rivers, all busying themselves and travelling like traffic in a one-way street. I wished I could paint and make a permanent picture, for the one that is eaten by the eye will eventually digest and leave a blank. From the top of the red cliffs I could see the waves, tiny and tamed now they had reached their destination, each trimmed with fragile lace and cuffed along the edges in frills suitable for the royalty of the sea. I continued to watch as they lapped at the foot of the cliff, kissing its feet and paying homage. The waves made way for one another, following, without question, some natural law. The sea was a cobalt blue, a sort of sugar-bird blue, like the day I met her. As I walked along the narrow path, 3 red-legged partridges scurried from beneath my feet on a whir of wings. I passed a friendly stone chat with a pink face and pink cheeks, and I smiled as it ignored me and continued swinging on its chosen twig. Further down the path, a blackbird left ripples on the pond as she drank, shimmering ripples that created a momentary fairyland, which then reverted to reality as she flew off, worm in mouth. Yet further down, a silver trout jumped defiantly, as if objecting to this intrusion of her territory, but she was after fly. I laughed at a bumblebee, struggling, overweighed with pollen and unable to fly. I lifted her on a leaf and blew on her wings so she could fly freely and perhaps learn a lesson. The sun was blinding to the eye, as all colours seem to merge. Nothing clashes in nature. But one colour was prominent, an almost white silver, virgin white, contrasting beautifully against the rugged red rocks. She sat at the top of a large rock, like a queen on her throne, white and pure as a falling snowflake. Below her sat many others, greys and browns, the proletariat, glancing up at her. But she was more interested in a lark singing overhead. I stood and watched her for some time before attempting to approach. I had to be close to her. My walking sticks only just proved adequate as I descended quietly. I couldn't risk disturbing her, although she seemed unduly concerned by my presence, and simply scrutinized me as if deciding my worthiness. She waved a flipper like a beckoning finger. I sat beside her and looked into the depths of those bottomless inky eyes, and I could see myself. She was telling me that she liked me. I'm almost sure of it. Her body radiated a warmth which seemed to increase my pulse, and she edged closer to me as if she desired bodily contact. She placed a flipper over my arm, almost imperceptibly. Then she pointed her head forward like a tortoise emerging from its shell. For a moment, she rested her head on my bare shoulder, and I realized that I was in love with another creature. She swayed me to and fro with her head, like a mother rocking her baby to give it a sense of security. Her fur was so soft, white and feminine. I stroked her gently, lovingly, on the soft parts beneath her flippers, and she rolled on her side, asking for more. Again she moved her head in a forward motion, pointing to the sea. She dived as if to tease me, and I dived after her. We surfaced together, leaving a trail of coloured bubbles, and as we rolled together the bubbles burst, each one emitting a different note, like a flute being played in staccato style. We rolled together again, and this time an orchestra welled in my ears, playing our summer song. The music was played to perfection. Each orchestra excels itself in this way but once, and I was glad to be a part of the performance. We lay together in sun rays of life, free. She took position like a lover, and we loved like lovers do. But after a couple of minutes, the orchestra stopped. She moved away from me, as if I had dented her soft skin with my rough fingers, and she dived into the sea. Before long, I could hardly determine in which direction she had disappeared. We had bathed together naked. We had played, inventing new games to amuse each other. We had loved, and now she was gone. But as she finally disappeared, I swear she looked back at me, like lovers do, a knowing glance, showing no coyness. I never saw her again, though I waited through the seasons. I waited as summer politely made way for autumn, and autumn melted into winter, obeying the unwritten laws of nature. The days shortened and the sea grew angry. I was cold again, but I had known warmth enough for which I will be ever grateful. The love of a queen for a cripple, the strains of a summer song.